We were just talking about how you were what the things you're working on with five clubs. I
Yep.
wanted to go back a little bit to you started juggling with tennis balls, and then
Uh-huh.
you're really excited now about kind of pushing it, taking it to the next level, doing things that you probably never thought you would ever be able to do. Um,
Mm.
what's kind of been your drive to keep going and do that?
Um, the community in general, really. Just meeting people who like similar like goals as me, and it's cool to see other people work on different things. And like, every time I go to a juggling convention, everybody have different things to work on usually. And it's really cool to see to hear people what they're working on. So some people they would like to work more on three club manipulation. Some people like working on 720s, spins, side swaps, and like all this kind of stuff. And it's nice for me to share like what I'm working on as well. And yeah. And uh, big motivation is actually when I see videos like online when some people when jugglers like post new stuff online and like nice quality videos I see on YouTube, like they always is nice, like big
Mhm.
motivation for me, and it really makes a difference. Like it makes
Mm.
me pumped and like go to the gym and yeah, do my training session.
That's awesome. Who would you say has supported you the most through that?
Um, hmm. I guess some local jugglers in Sydney. They've supported me quite a lot over the years. Just like maybe my local juggling club.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Cool.
some of that. Yeah.
All right, real quick, everybody. As you know, you can win a set of balls. I said it was six, but it's actually a set of seven. They're 2.5 juggling thingies. They're really nice balls. They're actually pretty firm. They're definitely not underfilled. You could use them for practice, or you could use them as stage balls. They're big enough for that. They're all slightly different colors, and they're awesome. The way that you win these is by asking a question, and if you don't win, make sure you head over to Juggling Thingies Facebook page and you can order some straight from John Nord. He's based in Texas. Let him know that you heard about Juggling Thingies from me. If that's true, if it's not true, don't tell him that. And just so he knows where he's getting his business. It doesn't affect me at all, but he probably likes to know. All right, so back to it. Tell us about a moment when everything just felt right. So like when you were juggling, whether it was performance or practicing, and you knew that you were exactly where you were supposed to be.
Um. I mean, sometimes when I try a trick for the first time, and I really don't expect it to get it in the first time, especially when it's a very difficult trick. When I'm warming up, yeah, when I'm warming up in the basketball court that I usually train indoors. Um, so let's say I start off with five balls, do some warm up, and then I just try a 3 up 1080, and I get it in the first try. So, and then yeah, then I know things are feeling good. And usually when I try things, if I get it in the first one or two tries,
Mm.
it usually means that the whole session will be pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's just like it's a good day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's how it feels.
Does that happen like like are you saying like the first time you ever try a trick, or maybe it's something you tried a few months ago and then we're like, I can't do this, and then you tried it again a few months later and then you just got it on the first
Oh,
try?
yeah. Second one. Yeah, like the
Okay.
first time, like I've done it a few months ago, or
Yeah.
maybe a month ago, and then I try it for the first time now, and I do it the first attempt.
Yeah.
Yeah, showing like a
Yeah.
practice, and
Yeah,
then
that is great.
usually, yeah, and then everything I try after that, whether it's anything else like back crosses or five club flats, 360s, usually everything, yeah, feels good.
Hmm. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's like the best feeling ever, because then you're also like, I didn't even practice
yeah,
it and I just did it.
yeah, yeah.
Like, how did that
Yeah,
happen?
like those days sometimes happen, which is good. Yeah,
Yeah.
but those are also rare days. They don't happen that much. Yeah.
All right, let's go ahead and ask some viewer questions here. Um, the first one that came in is, what's an inspiration to you, or who is your inspiration? That's from Leanne Richards.
Okay. Um, from the first 3 years of juggling, one of my biggest inspiration was Vova Galchenko, insanely good club juggler. But yeah, I've seen a lot of his videos on YouTube. There's one video called the Fat Boy Slim. That was a big one. I think it was like 1 million views, and it was him doing like 7 clubs, 360s, and pulling off these very difficult technical tricks with club juggling. And fun fact, back in the time when I saw that, I didn't even start juggling clubs yet. I was only juggling balls. I was just learning 3 to 4 balls back when I started, and yeah, that inspired me to get my first set of clubs. And yeah, just really influenced my style of juggling that I like to do now, which is like spins, technical stuff, numbers and stuff. Yeah, with clubs.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he would be your kind of your number one motivator for the direction that you ended up going.
It definitely. Yeah.
All right, from Mike Hendrickson, you smash the big numbers a lot, but what's your favorite 3-ball trick?
Favorite 3-ball trick, upside down box. Yeah, because I really like the aesthetics of the look of the upside down box, and I just learned that like a year ago. Really, yeah, my friend taught me how to do the upside down box.
Okay,
and it's a really fun trick. Yeah.
So you learned a year ago after you were really advanced already. How long did it take you to learn it?
It took me an hour or 2 hours to not to run it solid, but to maybe do like 5 rounds, or five to 10 rounds on each side, and then then I tried it for a couple of days, and then I could run it for like maybe like 20 or 30 catches.
Okay, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Fabian Reese, what do you like to work on with balls the most?
Side swaps, and a lot of 360s, and maybe even side swaps 360s combined. Yeah, like that. I like 5-ball overheads as well. Yeah. Lots of side swaps 360s.
Okay. And from Joe Tipker. Wait, I didn't want to ask that one yet. From Leanne Richards, what is the best way to learn 5 clubs? I think that's a great question.
Best way to learn 5 clubs. Definitely drill a lot of 3 and 4 club exercises. So, for example, 3 club doubles, 3 club double flashes. Make sure your 4 clubs doubles asynchronous fountain is like reasonably solid. Probably 50 to 100 catches. And then there's some exercises with 4 clubs that is useful for 5 clubs, like 4 club crosses. So 4 club double crossing. So it's like 5 clubs, but with a gap. And you can do it in like right, left, left, right left, right kind of thing. And also 5-3. So that's double, double, single in terms of the spins of the club, and they cross. So 5-3, 5-3. Yeah. Just a lot of and make sure you do those exercises like at least like 10 minutes every day. I think that's what I tried, and that has helped me a lot. Yeah, for 5 clubs.
How long would you say that kind of taking that approach, working on those exercises, how long do you think it would take? If you were already proficient at 4 clubs, how long would it take to get to 5?
I guess if you were already running 4 clubs professionally, then working on those exercises, it would take about maybe a month until, I mean, like it changes for everyone really. Maybe a month before you do some short runs, I guess, of 5 clubs, and longer runs for certain people. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and Joe Tipker, what's your most unique juggling trick? Josh Tipker. I can't read some of my glasses
juggling on. Trick. That would be so say I'm juggling like 3 to 5 clubs. I throw 1 club high, and then I catch the club that's going high. I catch that. How to describe it? It's like beneath my ankle, but my opposite hand goes underneath both my legs and catch it to the opposite side. I did that in a video, and sometimes I could do a scissor catch with it. So I can do a scissor catch that is underneath, both of my knees, kind of thing. So my opposite arm goes underneath both knees, and then I scissor catch a club. Yeah.
The first trick you described, did you do that in the video, the SkillCon video from a couple years ago?
Not SkillCon. Eleutheromania. So it's like my YouTube video from last year.
Okay. I don't think I saw it.
Yeah.
I was half listening to you describing it, and it sounded familiar to something I saw you do when I was watching some videos earlier, but I don't think I did. Okay, so back to some of my questions. How have you seen juggling change your life for the better?
It has definitely for a long time now. I mean, where do I even start? Okay, so it's helped with my, it's great mental, physical exercise, good for my brain. It's my main source of exercise really for the years I've done juggling. It's like really good cardio workout. And then the juggling community is one of the best communities I've ever been in. I say there's nothing like the juggling community, because pretty much everybody that I've met so far, just in a local juggling club to something as big as the European Juggling Convention, which I went to last year for the first time. Everyone is just really nice, really giving, and it's just all about fun and sharing, just sharing and talking about juggling, juggling tricks, anything. And it's really nice. So I've made a lot of friends, lots of nice relationships with juggling. So it's a really nice goal that I always have. Really give me a purpose in what I do. It's good.
And what's one way that you've seen it impact somebody else's life for the better?
I've seen it impact quite a few people's lives. Some close friends of mine, maybe people who have struggled with depression or other illnesses in the past, and it's helped them. Help them a lot, alleviate their pain. It's really nice. It's really nice physically and mentally. It's a really nice hobby for them to just something to do, like hobby or something serious.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Definitely a better addiction than some other ones.
Yes. I'll say so. Yeah.
All right. So I want to hear a little bit about what your practice routine looks like.
Okay. So a good practice routine would be around 2 to 3 hours. That's what my usual practice looks like. So I always warm up first. So I don't juggle in the very beginning. I always stretch for about 10 minutes. So I make sure I stretch each muscle. So my wrist, arms, calves, neck, wrists, shoulders, really important. Make sure they're warmed up. And then I start off with low numbers first. So 3 balls.
Can I pause you for a second? What kind of exercises do you do with your wrists and arms to make sure they're nice and loose?
So these ones, for 10 seconds. I do each hold for 10 seconds. Then I do this. I place these 2 hands on the ground and I press against it firmly. And then I do it the other way, like that, on the ground. That on the ground. And then I do a lot of this one, which a lot of people probably would have known. My friends know this one. It's one of my favorite stretches with wrist. Yeah. So those are my wrist exercises. Yeah. To prevent getting a sore wrist. Yeah.
Right. All right, so you did your stretches, and sorry, that's when I cut you off.
Yeah, then I work with low numbers. So 3 balls, 3 clubs, 3 rings. Um, Sometimes I usually tend to stay with one prop for a while. So I like to practice balls maybe for at least half an hour or an hour, and then I switch to clubs and then do like another practice for like an hour or so. But in the 1 hour of one of the certain prop that I practice, I start with the low numbers, and then I do just some normal tricks to get me warmed up, and then I just slowly move on to 4, 5, 6, 7, etc. And then I do a lot of then the main things that I practice would be um, just a lot of different tricks that I think of, and certain tricks that I practice all the time, like 360s, side swaps, shower, overheads, stuff like that. Yeah, mainly 5 objects, I guess, is the things that I practice the most on in a usual practice. Yeah.
And what are some bad habits that you've had to train yourself out of over the years?
Okay. So I've had quite a few bad habits in the beginning. Um, so my hands were quite high when I first started juggling.
Mm.
So even when I was learning up to 7 balls cascade, um, I mean, like my first qualifier of 7 balls or shorter runs of 7 balls, I would juggle like this.
Mm.
So my hands were awfully higher than what you see most people juggle, which the hands are much lower, which looks much more relaxed. And so I had to fix that, and it did take a while to fix that and slowly force myself to lower my hands with, from like 3 balls, 4 balls, and try to apply that with 4, 5, and then 7. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And when I started doing 360s, the feet that I was kicking off was also quite high, so that was a bit inefficient because it's nice, I guess, to have the foot that you're kicking off as close to the ground as possible, so that after you execute the spin, it's easy because your foot is already close to the ground and you can just tap the floor and stop the spin. So that's like another thing that I had to fix.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, high hands, feet was too high. Maybe just some forms of some tricks.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah,
So like
just doesn't look as clean.
specific to certain tricks.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah.
and is there so like if we were going to take 7 clubs, what was kind of your biggest struggle there?
Um, 7 clubs is still a struggle for me right now.
Yeah.
Um, moving around,
Yeah.
moving around. Yeah, that's hard. Yeah, I mean, I tend to move in like left. I tend to move left, or I tend to move left a bit when I just show 7 clubs, and I'm still trying to fix that. So
Mm-hmm.
trying to make so that probably means I'm throwing my right club so maybe too angled, so it's pushing me that way.
Right.
Yeah, but really it just all comes down to the accuracy of throws
Mm-hmm.
with 7 clubs, and it's a very narrow pattern. I mean, yeah, it's a very narrow pattern. There's very less margin for error with 7 clubs. You just have to throw really perfect triple spins, really nice equal rhythm and height. Yeah, just a lot of things to think about when you have the control of 7 clubs up there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, moving around will be habit, bad habit that I'm still trying to fix with 7 clubs. Yeah.
And to make sure that you're throwing those clubs, whether it's 7 or 5 or whatever, or balls or rings, it doesn't matter. To make sure that they're hitting that same spot, the accurate spot in the air. How do you have any methods or techniques for focusing on a
Yeah,
spot?
I always just hold one club and make that one throw that you're trying to do. So if you're trying to have perfect quads, perfect quintuple spins, for like one high four low kind of tricks, something like that, or yeah, just some certain high tricks where you have a throw that's really high. I always just warm up with one club and throw the quad or quintuple, like very high spin, as perfect as I can, and make sure I move like really little to not moving, and just make sure that it just lands in my hand perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I warm up just making the perfect throw itself before I try with 5 clubs.
Right.
Something like that. Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, so we've got a lot of questions, so I'm going to go and ask some more. For everybody that maybe wasn't here when I said it before, you ask a question. That's how you get entered to win a set of 7 John Nord's Juggling Thingies balls. So where are we at right now? Mr. Tricky Tricks, what are your thoughts on the PX4s? I saw you've juggled them before, but then it looked like you switched back to your old clubs.
So I have the PX4 here actually, just if hopefully the video works. So I find the PX4. I mean, I like the slimness of the handle. The wrapped handle is quite nice. It's a really good grip. I find the grip is pretty nice for like even 6 and 7 clubs. Really nice for 5 clubs. There's a bit of a springy feeling when you catch the club. So when the club spins and you catch it, there's a slight springy feeling of the club, which I wasn't really. I mean, it's a really nice club, and what I like about the PX4 is the colors they have. Like they have really a really large range of colors that they offer, that play offers for people to get. And yeah, but I switched back to the Dolphins, which is the club that I use now.
Uh-oh. I've got a paused face. Are you there?
Yep.
Okay, great. Sorry. So the last thing we heard was you switched back to the Dolphins.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
and that's probably just because you're used to using them.
That's just I'm just used to using them like just beforehand, really. Yeah.
And let's see here. Another one from Mr. Tricky Tricks that I like. Do you have any practice rituals, scented candles, weird prayers, jazzy music?
Not really. Sometimes I like hearing some music like before I practice. Just some maybe motivational music sometimes, just to get me like energized before practice. But yeah, nothing much besides that.
Okay. What's your favorite club juggling trick? That's from Wyatt Davis.
Favorite club juggling trick would be body throws, lazies, and back crosses. It's not my I named 3, but there's too many club juggling tricks I like, because clubs is the main prop that I practice with. It's my favorite prop, so yeah.
Yeah. Do you work on combining those 3 things?
I did. I've tried combining back crosses and lazies with 3 clubs. I think I got that working a bit. Yeah, it's pretty fun. Yeah. Yeah. Body throws, lazy.
Oh, and he's gone. Come back, Kenny. So apparently the internet in Australia is shoddy. Don't know what to tell you. Oh. Hello.
Hello.
You're back.
Yeah, connection got cut off again.
I'm glad you come back so quick.
Yeah, I'm glad too.
All right. Let's see. Another question for you from Mark Schneider. What do you like the most, clubs, rings, or balls?
Clubs. Yeah, clubs.
And from another one from Joss. What's your best advice for learning a trick in general?
Always do the steps, like steps before you do the actual trick. So, for example, if you're trying to learn the side swap 744 with 5 balls, you want to make sure you just have the 5 ball cascade solid, practice that, and warm up the tricks that you usually would do before doing like 744. So doing like higher throws with 5 balls, throwing the 7s, and then trying like one round of 744 and make sure that that's solid before you try 2 rounds. So basically, just gradually building the steps that forms like half the trick before you try the trick itself eventually.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
From Spencer and Drilly, do you have any advice on having the energy to spend 720s or 1080s?
uh, um, drink a lot of water and have breaks. Definitely have breaks. So, I mean, if I do 720s non-stop for 20 minutes, I will burn myself too much, and I'll just end up dripping in sweat.
Mm.
Yeah, but just have breaks, drink water. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, Lucas Reichenbach, I believe you started in the flow arts community, but are doing a lot of highly technical juggling nowadays. In those two scenes, where do you see yourself today? So, I mean, according to what you told me, you didn't start there, but have you experimented with the flow arts community?
I've done a bit of poi. I've done a bit of poi. I mean, I did that in a local convention a month ago actually, and I learned a reverse 3-beat weave and a forward 3-beat weave, and trying to change that, like interchange both of them. Yeah, but I haven't had too much experience in flow arts.
Okay.
But yeah, I like the look of it.
Yeah. You want to take Chris Kelly on?
Yeah.
see if you can do 7 poi before he can.
Oh no. No way.
Let's see here. I feel like I skipped one, but I guess I didn't. From Fabian Reese again, what's your views on getting tricks consistent versus just trying to smash personal records?
I mean, most tricks that I work on, I try to be as consistent as I can. I like drilling them, like most tricks I like drilling them at least once or twice a week. It's much better to drill things consistently. So especially for weapons, I guess. Yeah, that's a perfect example. Like if you want to have a solid performance, a routine, you want to drill consistency, especially want to make the act as fluid as possible and to make as least many drops. Yeah.
So would you say that you value making your patterns tighter over breaking new records, personal records?
I guess maybe a balance between the two.
Okay.
I mean, like sometimes it's tempting to try like a really hard trick beyond what you would usually do. Yeah. So sometimes it's nice to, if you can try to break the limit in doing a harder trick, but obviously not if you try it for 5 hours and it's not working. I'll suggest maybe just drill back the tricks that are not as hard. Yeah.
Okay. And then this is sort of related. What are you, from Chris the Juggler? What are your 7-ball ring, ball, and club records? I assume for catches.
7 balls. 7-ball record. 3 minutes. 3 minutes. 7 rings. I'm not sure. 7 rings. Few hundred catches. I think. I haven't worked much on rings. I mean, compared to balls and clubs, that is. And seven clubs records is 55 catches. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I have some questions. You're still kind of a young juggler, but it looks like you've done a little bit of performance stuff, or entertainment stuff. How does that kind of fit into your juggling career so far?
Yeah, I've done quite a few performances. I mean, it affects my practices. It's like, sometimes I have to drill my axe in a practice, rather than kind of like the hobby side of juggling where you just focus on just any trick you want. So like maybe I spend like an hour or maybe like half my practice doing like a routine.
Hmm.
Yeah, like a routine, a 5 minute routine of like certain tricks that I'll do like in a performance.
Okay.
Yeah, which is
Um,
also nice to uh, drill in the consistency of tricks.
mhm.
Yeah, especially when you have a 5 minute routine when you're doing like 100 tricks in a row.
Right.
Yeah,
And you want to
yeah,
make sure you don't drop.
yeah.
What or not what, but how do you like performing?
Oh, well, I've enjoyed a lot of performing over the years. What I like most about performing is how the audience reacts and the appreciation you get from the audience when they cheer for you and just clapping in general. It's really nice
Mm-hmm.
because you usually don't hear that when you're practicing by yourself.
Right.
Yeah, yeah. So it's nice when when like people show appreciation of your art.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Um, and then performing can also be competition sometimes. So
Mm.
you were at the WJF. What was that experience like?
It was pretty nerve-wracking. Really good experience. It was really awesome to go up there and pull off much harder tricks than what I'll usually do on stage.
Yeah.
Because like usually in on stage when I'm performing for a normal audience, I wouldn't do 720s and high side swaps and stuff like that.
Hmm.
Yeah, it was nice to be able to try much harder technical tricks than what I usually do on stage.
Yeah.
And yeah, yeah, it's
Was
definitely
it?
made me. Yep,
No, go ahead.
it definitely made me more confident, like in terms of like juggling on stage in general.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Was it cool to hang out with so many high class jugglers? I mean, you got
yeah,
Dana
definitely.
Bayless and Spencer and
Yeah,
Jolie and Josh
it was.
Horton.
Yeah,
The list
it
goes
was
on.
great. Yeah, yeah, I met heaps of really high technical jugglers there. Uh, yeah, just many, yeah, jugglers, creative jugglers, Diablos. Really cool. Yeah, yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. It's nice to hang out and chat with them like during the whole convention at
Yeah.
WJF. Yeah, just really fun just to chat and just try different tricks, just talk
Yeah.
about anything really. Yeah,
Yeah.
during the time
I would
there.
imagine. I mean, I guess we do this at any level, but for us plebeians that aren't as skilled as you, uh, it must be interesting to talk to somebody who's around the same skill level as you and has put in the same like a similar amount of hours and realize that they've done things that they practice a lot different or that the way that they
Mm.
got there was a lot different and that they have tips that are slightly different than yours. Did you experience any of that in conversations you were having?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, yeah, it's very interesting to find out what other jugglers go through. They can have different experiences. So maybe like, I mean, I've met some jugglers who like don't stretch at all, but it's worked for them, and
Yeah.
maybe they do something different. So they do like they still warm up like with like three clubs and lower numbers stuff, but they don't like to stretch. So I mean, like that's different from my practice. Um, yeah, and just different tricks that people work on, uh, and like different warm up stuff that they do before they try the harder stuff in their practices.
Hmm.
It's really nice to hear what they've done, and sometimes I try to integrate like the practice warm ups that they do, and try and see if that works for me.
Hmm.
Yeah, and sometimes it does, so it can influence the way I train as
Yeah.
well.
Cool. All
Yeah.
right, I'm going to ask you some quick fire questions before I do. Everybody that's here, make sure you ask questions. You can be entered to win these sweet juggling thingies balls. You also have a chance to win IJA membership and a copy of Lido Ditmart's book, Fast Juggling Success. And I've got a couple other things I'm going to throw in this week just because, well, I'm not going to tell you why, but there's other things you can win too. So make sure you ask questions. All right. What is your favorite trick or pattern to do? You may have already answered that, but one more time.
Five club back
Okay.
passes.
To watch.
Yeah. To watch seven clubs, really. Yeah. it's just really nice to watch just 7 clubs. It's just a really pretty pattern.
Okay.
Yep, to watch.
Favorite festival you've been to?
EJC
Mm-hmm.
2016. Yeah.
And why was that so amazing?
Because it was the biggest convention I've ever been to, much larger than I've ever been to. It's like thousands of jugglers, and it was incredible meeting so many jugglers from all over the world.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it was really nice to have met so many people. Yeah,
I've heard it was a great
really
time.
cool. Yeah.
A lot of people I've talked to that 2016 was a really good festival. We know your favorite club is, or your favorite prop is clubs, and we know your favorite brand is dolphins. What about your favorite music to listen to when you're practicing?
Electronic music. Yeah.
Okay. What juggler do you currently look up to the most?
Guess it's still kind of vulva, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just always really nice to watch just club juggling. Yeah, I mean, there's so many other jugglers I look up to be honest.
Right.
Like, just I can't name one. There's just too many people. Yeah, like Orfek, I've looked up to him quite a. Yeah, I mean, like he's inspired me to do spins like lately. Yeah, 720s, 1080s. Yeah.
Well, you can't stop there then.
Spins. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah.
And your best general practice tip, which I think was also asked by Joss earlier.
Warming up, and gradually working up to like high numbers or high tricks. So probably not starting with 7 clubs, I guess. Like, just pick up 7 clubs and starting 7 clubs in a practice session. But instead, like stretching or warming up. Yeah, warming up with 3 clubs and then doing tricks with 5 clubs, and then moving on to what you really want to push with your juggling, whether it's 7 clubs or anything else. Okay. Yeah.
Awesome. All right, so we're gonna do a few more questions, and then we'll look at wrapping it up. What do we got here? From Leanne Richards, how would you describe your style of juggling? Is there an Australian style of juggling that has influenced you at all?
I think I mainly do traditional toss juggling, so I like, yeah, my style is really based on technical stuff. Yeah, side swaps and numbers kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, it has influence, I guess, a bit from Australian style and maybe American style juggling, where I mean, like I've seen a lot of videos in the past of the WJF and technical stuff, and that has inspired me to push on just like, you know, what I can do in terms of technical juggling.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And from Leanne Richards, where do you see yourself in 5 years? And I'll add my version onto that. When you look back on your juggling career, what do you want to be able to say you accomplished? In 5 years.
In 5 years. I like to say that I've just maybe pushed my endurance records a bit more. Much more solid 7-club runs. Like 7 clubs feeling solid. I guess that'll be really cool to get. Maybe in 5 years' time. And maybe tricks with 6 and 7 clubs. Hard technical juggling tricks with 6 and 7 clubs. Yeah, and in general for the community, just traveling to like a lot of juggling conventions around the world and getting to meet a lot of people. I guess that'll be really nice to look back like in 5 years' time. Mm-hmm. Yeah, just seeing other people that I've met, and it's just in my journey. Yeah, and just pushing more. Yeah, seeing what I can do in juggling.
Awesome. From Ken Tiongson, I don't know how to say that. What would you be doing if you weren't juggling? Oh, come on, Ken, this is a juggling interview.
If I yeah. If I weren't juggling, I think I'll be very into a certain sport. So whether it be badminton, swimming, or jogging, something like that. Because I've always liked, yeah, it's just certain sports. Yeah, like but before I started juggling, I always liked sports.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, something to do with sports.
From Leary Camray, what is your dream trick? Like the trick you want to do before you stop juggling?
A five club, five up back cross 720, and a five club, five up 1080 into singles.
Hmm.
Which I think both is possible. Both is definitely possible. Yeah.
Okay, what are your opinions of Matsuhiro Takahashi's body throws, and what do you think the limits are with them?
He's a beast with body throws. Loved watching his body throws at WJF. Yeah, he was. Yeah, his style of body throws is really nice to watch. He's really comfortable with them, and he can mix so many different variations with body throws with three clubs. I mean, he can run five club body throws, like short runs of five club body throws, but I think the limit, I think he can push the limit much higher in the future if he continues to work on longer runs of five club body throws. And so I think doing long runs of five club body throws is definitely possible. And maybe even a few catches of seven club body throws, whether it's him or someone else. Yeah, I think it's should be possible in the
Do you
future.
think that you'll be able to push that?
Shorter runs to five club body throws, yeah. Maybe not seven club body throws, but I'll still try. Like, yeah, after I get seven club solid.
Okay.
Yeah.
From Greg Phillips, do you ever pass? And what are your favorite passing patterns, if you do?
I have passed. I've passed in conventions and my local juggling club. Favorite pattern. So like all the different high throws you can do with passing. So like passing six clubs. Yeah, throwing like a double from your other hand, and then throwing a normal throw, then throwing a triple. So different high patterns and stuff, variations, and I think the popcorn and yeah, I think there's sort of names of tricks that I'm not too familiar with, but yeah, just
Okay.
yeah, popcorn and high tricks. Yeah.
From Mike Hendrickson, when you're making a routine, do you try to construct them out of tricks you know, or you design it and then learn tricks you don't know?
I tend to have a list of the tricks that I do know already, and then I try to build a routine from that. Yeah.
And from Mr. Tricky Tricks, who were you most hyped to meet at the EJC? And that's good enough. We'll stop there. Who are you most excited to see at the AGC?
Ofek. Yeah, just because when I first saw his juggling in person, it was mind blowing. Yeah, it was mind blowing to see the stuff that he can do with the amount of spins he can do under like five balls, and just his normal practice. Yeah, really nice to watch. Yeah.
Will you be at the next EJC?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I am planning to go to EJC this year. Yeah, hopefully. Yeah.
Okay, from Mike Hendrickson and Josh Tipker, and this is gonna be the last question I ask. If you're having a bad juggling day, or if, like, you're frustrated with the way things are going, you're dropping a lot, what do you do? Just leave it for the day, or work on random stuff and try to power through?
I don't. If things aren't working, I don't just end it straight away. I try to work on tricks that are different than the tricks that were making me frustrated. I try to work on different things entirely. So if my club's juggling weren't working at all, I would do something with balls and try to have some try to see if balls are working. Yeah, and if everything doesn't work for like 30 minutes, then I'll probably stop.
Okay.
and just leave it for the day. Yeah.
Mhm. Or if it's the morning, maybe come back later.
Yeah. Could be that too. Yeah.
All right. So if people want to find your stuff, where can they find it?
So I'm on Instagram, YouTube. So I post a lot of stuff on Instagram. You can follow me at Kenny Juggling. Yep, Kenny Juggling on Instagram, or YouTube will be the same name, Kenny Juggling.
Okay.
Yeah,
Sweet.
yeah.
All right. Well, thanks everybody for tuning in to this interview with Kenny Cheung. And Kenny, thanks a lot for being here.
My pleasure.
And until next time, keep on juggling.